When you want only the best for your pet, check out AbbeyBellPetDesigns.com. We offer quality products such as floppy beds, crate pads, round pet beds, pillow slip covers, belly bands, and more. All products come in a variety of colors and sizes, guaranteed to satisfy your pet's particular style. Your pet deserves to be pampered, so shop at AbbeyBellPetDesigns.com. If you don't see the item you want listed in our shop, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to make the product of your pet's dreams. AbbeyBellPetDesigns.com. Good morning, everybody. How are you this Tuesday? Good to see you. Try not to... All right. Hey, Mike, good to see you. How's everybody? Shannon, hello, hello. How's everybody on this Tuesday? Mary Ann, good to see you. As you come in, I want to remind you, my ears are not like yours. And I wanted to just say this is a great book for giving a positive message to young children. And you can find it at Amazon.com. It's great for birthdays. It's great for putting in an Easter basket or just because you love a child and want to get them started out on the right foot with a very positive message. Yes, God bless. MAGA 2020 is official per Drudge. Yep. Good morning, Pat. Penny Arcade. Hey, Robin. How are you? Love from Texas. Thank you so much. How are you? I never know what to call you. Good morning. Hey, Lori. How is everybody? Pat, Letitia, how are you? How are you? Alan, good to see you. Carmen, hello. How is everybody? Everybody's here early. That's great. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and read to you Proverbs 3. I'm just going to read you a little part of it. As you're coming in, please retweet if you will. Thank you, Anne. We write that down. I love to know people's names. All right. Perfect. All right, my son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands, for length of days and long life and peace that will add to you. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck, write them in the tablet of your heart, and so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will be health to your flesh and strength to your bones. Honor the Lord with your possessions and with your first fruits of all your increase, so your barns will be filled with plenty and your vats will overflow with new wine. Amen. Amen. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Two places at one time, I know. Hey, that's a little scary. Awesome book. Thank you, Letitia. Letitia, if you've bought the book, if you wouldn't mind going and putting a review for me on Amazon.com, I would appreciate it. Always great to have those reviews. People really do read those reviews. I know that I do. Hi, Jerry. Good morning. Hey, Lee. Anybody I haven't said hello to? I hope everybody's doing well today. A lot to talk about. Before we get started, I have had a prayer request. If you will, hey, Wendell, if you will please join me, hey, Gary, in the prayer request. This is for a young man named Nick. He's 29 years old. I have seen his picture. He's a handsome young man. Nick is suffering from Hodgkin's lymphoma. Good morning, chickens. And he's in chemotherapy right now. He can't work as long as he's getting chemotherapy. He's also a pilot, loves to fly, and not able to fly during this time. If you would please just pray for him. Hey, is it Nina? Sorry, gosh. I wish the screens were bigger, I swear. Still need to do my review. Oh, thank you, Robin. Yes, we lift up Nick and Lord Jesus. Absolutely, Anne. Sending prayers for Nick. Thank you, Lisa. Praying for him. Chickens, thank you so much. Nina, thank you. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Happy birthday to Carmen. Carmen's 15 again, right, Carmen? Happy birthday, Carmen. Hey, Barbara, good morning. Good to see you. Happy birthday. Hey, Rob, good morning. Good morning. Let's have a birthday party. Everybody sing happy birthday to Carmen. We'll just We'll just pretend they're singing it to you. Everybody can sing at their own place, right? All right. So thank you so much for praying for Nick. Hey, Cully, good to see you. Nikolai, good to see you. Thank you for adding him to the prayers. Robin says happy birthday to you, Carmen. You start. No, that's okay. I tried that once. Oh, wasn't so good. Hey, Marlene. Hey, everybody. Hey, Daniel. Happy birthday to all who apply. Yeah, it's Carmen. I could use prayers too. I have shingles. Oh, no. Everybody, Nina has shingles. Pray for her healing from the power of the Holy Spirit. We pray for your healing today, Nina. Pray also for the healing of Nick. And God, hear our prayers. As a group, we come together, God, and ask you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, so let's get started. Nikolai says happy birthday to Carmen. Barbara is having a great party up there for Carmen. That's great. I found you. Yay, Wayne. Finally. I know. People can't find me. I'm shadow banned, I think, on Twitter. That's why I need... Nina does, Carmen. Nina has shingles. That's why I need for everybody who comes in here, like every day, if you would please retweet this. Because when people go to look for the show, when it's on, they can't find it. So, you know, kind of shadow banned. So if you would every day, please just retweet this. We could get more people who would actually be able to find me. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you know, please. All right, so let's get started. Breaking news, strategist Brad Parscale. I don't know if that's how you say his name. It's probably Parscale or something like that. But he's being named by President Trump, supposedly, as reported by Drudge, as manager of his 2020 president re-election campaign, and that sources told Reuters as well. A lot of Twitter and YouTube accounts are being suspended or removed. Yep, Jerry, I know that. The shadow ban has got to stop. Absolutely, Pat. It really does. The notification I get from Periscope when your show comes on always makes me jump, Robin said. At least you get a notification, Robin. A lot of people don't. You know, if you guys ever wanted me to go over to Gab, I mean, it would require donations to go over there and get on that program. We could all go to Gab and have it seen over there. But I don't want to pay another, you know, more money because I'm paying money everywhere. Paying on Spreaker and paying on, you know, other Be Live TV. So I'm tapped out. Vero Susan is the other new one. Okay. Haven't seen that one, Barbara. I'll have to go check that out. But if you want to give donations, it's SusanKnowles.com. I'm not a 501c3. It would be a gift donation that way. So Robin said YouTube is horrible about notifications. Hey, Brenda. But again, that's up to you guys. That if you wanted me over on Gab, it would require donations again because I'm paying out of pocket for other things and just it's not, you know, affordable to keep adding on things like that. Still learning scope, Cully said. Praying you heal soon. Yes, Nina, we hope that she does too, Marlene. Okay, so now Brad, as you know, that Brad Parscale or Pascali, whatever his name is, he was the digital media and political strategist for Trump in 2016. He was the digital media director precisely for Trump's 2016 team. Hello, Chicago Pops. So... hopefully he can somehow get around Twitter and Facebook and actually put things out there. Hey, Sean. Good to see you. Sean Rice over on Facebook Live. Just for all those who are on Facebook Live, we're on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Periscope at the same time, so you'll see me talking to different people. So do you think that's a good thing, having the same media guy back, or really doesn't really matter at this point, do you think? What's your opinion on this this Brad guy? Do you think he's a good strategist? The manager of his presidential re-election campaign. That's a lot, going from the media director up to the manager. What do you think about that? Do you think that President Trump is making the right decision? Do you think he's making a careful one? Not sure, don't know him. Yeah, Nina, that's true. We don't. But, you know, is he picking somebody that he's familiar with so he won't have those same problems with, like, Manafort and, hate to say it, but, you know, the other guy. You just never know. Some of Trump's picks don't always pan out. That's true. Was he Jared's friend? I don't know. Could be, Alan. Yes, he's good. Trump knows what he's doing. Robert said, good. He may not last the whole while as manager, Lori said. True. looking for safe spaces. That's what I'm thinking. Depends on if he's really MAGA. Well, he's been there since 2016, and he's still there, so I would think that maybe he is. Good chance of it. Be interesting to see what happens. Yep. I mean, we get Steve Bannon, right, before, and so I don't know. That didn't work out so well, although, you know, a lot of people feel that without Bannon, he may not have won the election. You must be comfortable with how it worked out the first time, must have done a good job, Lisa said. Yeah, I would agree with that, Lisa. Robin said she doesn't know who he is and she doesn't have an opinion about it. 2016 seems like a long time ago. I know, Lori. Pat said, that's my concern. Well, if President likes him okay, they come and go, Barbara said. Yep. Guns for teachers, guns and with silencers for librarians. Cully. Cully, what are we going to do with you? Okay, so there's been also a new deal. Cully came back. I know, Nina, Cully comes up with this stuff, I'm telling you. Hey, Clay Vorkia, how are you? The president needs to build a security blanket around him. I know. Bannon was closer. Kellyanne did the work, Barbara said. Very good. I'm wondering if Kellyanne is really going to, you know, stay on, because, my God, she's done a lot of work. 7,000 people showed up for Tampa gun show last weekend. I know, Marlene. You know, Marlene, you know what's funny? Remember I talked about yesterday how the Obama-era school guidelines may have caused or been a contributing factor to what happened in the shooting in Florida? And now this morning I noticed that Breitbart, I think it's Breitbart, has started talking about that. So now I'm no longer alone in saying that. I think I was the first person to bring that up. Love Kelly. She seems very strong woman. She seems like a very strong yet tired woman, Pat, and for good reason to be tired as well. Hey, Doc, I would be tired too if I were her, doing all the work, running all over the place that she does. I mean, it's amazing. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about those school guidelines. You know, we talked about them yesterday. They were supposed to include mental health professionals, but it also kind of, if you will, excluded the law enforcement from being able to do anything like give disciplinary consequences. It was always up to the school to do that, and you were supposed to keep the kids in school, and only as a last resort were you to suspend them or expel them or anything like that. So I think that that's an issue. Yeah, that's really an issue. Jim's just introduced new ban to ban all assault weapons of any kind. Yes, they did. Glay, is it Glay? And that's something that Dianne Feinstein did years ago, and it expired, and now they're trying it again. I've heard the shooter had ISIS flags in his room. Did anyone else hear that? I didn't hear that. Almost rewarded bad behavior. Yes. Calls your damn, yeah. Shocker. I was reading something that somebody had replied to. It's kind of weird up there. But anyway, here, listen to some of the things. These are school-related tips that the school got, the sheriff, definitely the sheriff's got. But listen to some of these, and this is all about Cruz, and yet nobody really did anything to him, about him. I'm a little concerned at remarks Trump made at the White House yesterday. Don't be afraid of the NRA, and he has a pen and phone, and if Congress doesn't do something about gun control, he will. Probably he was just mocking Obama, Robin, I'm guessing. Yes, the flags were talked about on Ingram Angle. Okay, so I guess that's true then. I pretty much think what she says is pretty valid. Now, so listen to this. In February 2016, a tipster told the sheriff's office that Nicholas Cruz planned to shoot up the school. He'd only started attending Stoneman Douglas a few weeks earlier. So here you have a kid. Yes, we know metal he is. I think he was mocking two chickens. I do too. Robin, I'm sure that's what he was doing. Because that's exactly what Obama was saying. I haven't been reading about the Baker Act in Florida. Interesting. So basically here you have a kid that's just coming to the school in 2016, weeks in, and according to what this said, he's already starting to have problems. He's already saying he's going to shoot up the schools, according to this caller. This is all allegations. Now, February the 5th, 2016, a neighbor's son tells the sheriff's department that Cruz, pictured with guns on its Instagram, planned to shoot up the school. A deputy responds, discovers Cruz's own knives and a BB gun, and forwards the information to the high school's resource officer, Scott Peterson. They complained the cops went to the house many times, so Watt can't lock him up for doing nothing. Well, if those threats were serious, you can. Hey, Teresa, but I don't know if they had verified them or not. Okay, so then on September 28th, 2016, didn't do anything about the shooter. Another student informs Peterson that Cruz may have ingested gasoline a week earlier and is cutting himself. So remember that. This was one, I think he's a peer counselor, says Cruz indicated he wished to purchase a gun for hunting, and they would look after him, to do a threat assessment. He had a Nazi symbol drawn on his book bag. Supposedly, that's when they sent out the CPS. Sheriff Israel speaking in mosque in Broward County. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, Marlene, thank you. I'll have to check that out. Also, a caller from Massachusetts tells the Sheriff's Department that Cruz is collecting guns and knives. Now, here's what some of the students said. Now, these are the same students that are out there in front of the camera. I don't know if anybody was listening to the students then back in school, but here's what some of them were saying. Cruz threatened to bring the guns to school multiple times. Senior Eddie Bonilla, I guess, I don't know, in California it'd be Bonilla, but it could be Vanilla, said other students, he said, threw jokes around that he'd be the one to shoot up the school. Brandon Minoff, a senior at that Douglas High School, said he had 2 classes with Cruz 2 years ago, said that while it was surreal to hear Cruz named as a subject, he wasn't surprised. Another person said, I got paired with him for a project, and he started talking to me about his life, how he was held back twice, expelled from 2 private schools, and he said he liked to do reckless stuff. Another student told the Miami Herald that in the 9th grade, Cruz used to have weird, random outbursts, cursing at teachers and former classmates. He recalled to the paper an incident in middle school when Cruz kicked out a glass window. So there were red flags all around of the students talking about everything that this person was doing or alleging that he was doing. And no one was really, it doesn't seem, we don't know exactly what they did, but were the Obama-era guidelines influencing what the school did in not kicking this kid out sooner, getting him mental health sooner, so what's the case here? Hey, gee whiz, how are you? Nice to see you back. Now need another coffee. I know, Barbara, you're going to need more than coffee. Then he was, Charo, this other student, said that Cruz was suspended from the high school for fighting because he was found with bullets in his backpack. Problem is courts don't care and treat everybody as a health issue. BS, lock him up. Well, Metal, somebody could have been, helping this kid more, keeping an eye on him. The CPS, when they came out and talked to him, found that he wasn't a threat. But when you have all these students, if the students knew all of this, how much did the administrators know? How much did the teachers know? How much did the parents know? Many things happened since I last came here. So many indictments. Gee whiz. So many things are happening. Yep. Another student told the Associated Press that Cruz was kicked out for fighting with the boy who'd been seeing his ex-girlfriend. A senior said, I never really got close to him because I always had a feeling there was something wrong. So a lot of people knew. They didn't want a black eye in their school. Well, they didn't want a black eye in their school, but it looks like also that they wanted the money to have the kid. As long as kids are in school, you're getting the money. Looks like he did everything but tattoo help on his forehead. I know, Lisa. Yep. Only attacking the sheriff because he for gun control. No, that's not true, gee whiz, but gee whiz. Bringing bullets to school could have been charged as a felony. That's true. And why didn't they do that? Hey, Amber, which stops the gun purchase. Yeah, but, again, they look at this kid. Obviously, this kid was given a pass a number of times, according to what we're hearing. Again, if the students knew this, the teachers surely had some inkling that there was a problem, and that the administrators knew as well. Well, Metal, it didn't even get to the courts. It according to the guidelines, the school security officer and the police, they weren't allowed to do anything. It was all up to the school. The sheriff kept saying there was nothing he could do. Yep. Was he bullied? Have no idea. read the Baker Act, Susan. It's very interesting. They could have had him involuntary. You know, Harley, Pat, they can do that everywhere. You can put somebody on a 72-hour hold if they're a threat to themselves and others. It's not called a Baker Act everywhere, but we have that in California. They have that in every city, every state. A threat to self or others, you can bring somebody in for 72 hours and put a 72-hour hold on them. But, you know, again, they didn't want to do that. Well, Pat, I'm saying a lot of it has to do with the guidelines that Obama put in place in 2014, which said only take the kid out of school for the last resort. Is his brother put away, Barbara? According to what I read, his brother was involuntarily committed the day after the shooting by the people that were guardians over him. Yeah, so Harley, Pat, read my article at SusanKnowles.com for today, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's, again, I mentioned it yesterday, and just today they're starting to think about it. Why did he have an AR-15 if he was so dangerous? Because he purchased one? Thanks, Pat. If he had a Pop-Tart in his bag, this could have been avoided. There you go, Cully, but he could have been arrested with a Pop-Tart. Obama rewards program, yes, Alan. Cruz was reported numerous times to the FBI by family, gun cache, threatening the school. I know. You make a lot of valid points. Great scope. Thank you, Metal. Yeah, the FBI dropped the ball. I mean, that's all there was to it. The FBI was given tips. They were given 2 tips at least, and they dropped the ball. And now we have the sheriff who is saying that he only got, 23 calls from the shooter's family about the shooter. And even CNN said they had found that there were 39 calls that he had received. And I think what it actually has turned out to be now is 45 calls. A lot of people failed here. Absolutely, chickens. And I think a lot of it was due to people were like hands off. Again, if you're in and Cully has said this and other people have said this as well, if you're in a very liberal county like that where it's totally blue, you're going to follow the Obama guidelines. Thank you, Lisa. Susan for President 2020. No, let's let Trump do that. Some of them about the younger brother too. Yes, but let's blame the NRA. Exactly, Pat. Exactly. Because the local FBI did not report to the next level, and that's who puts you on a list. Ingram Angle, yeah. Continued from last statement, there were all reported from other students that overheard the threats, Robin said. There's been 3 students arrested in my county the last week for threats to school. Did you see Tapper's interview with the sheriff? He actually did awesome. I did see that. I was surprised that, you know, he was saying, hey, you knew all this information and you were going after Dana Lash there during that town hall. Why were you doing that? And the sheriff saying, well, we didn't know for sure, you know, all these things. So, and then when it asked about a stand down, he can't answer. Massive shock. You're freezing up, Susan. Pat, am I freezing up for everybody or just Pat? It seems like other people aren't freezing, but I don't have it freezing on my end. Are you guys freezing up there? Think he switched to Fox. Yeah, just Pat. Okay, Pat, it's just you. Great, thank you. I'm so glad. Not freezing. Yay! Vice President, Attorney General. Hey, I would love, give me Secretary of State, Attorney General, VP. Okay, I can do those. Pat has dial-up. It's okay, Robert said. No freezing, Gary said. Didn't know for sure. Isn't that what the investigation is for? Yeah. Nikolai said, no, you're good. No freezing here. Great, everybody. It's just Pat's freezing. Now multiply that kid by 100 people just for Florida. I hope kids in trouble getting second look. See, Marlene, that's a part of the point of my article that I wrote at SusanKnowles.com. How many more school districts are continuing to follow the old Obama-era guidelines for schools that say keep these kids in school no matter what, only as a last resort are you to kick them out? I think that in my article I write that the Secretary of Education should look at that right away, decide whether or not that's being done, and then if it is, change it. Ask President Trump to change it. Alan said, great article. Thank you, Alan. That's something I think President Trump could do away with and say we're no longer going to do this, but I have a feeling that nobody is sending this to President Trump. He probably doesn't remember it. I mean, it happened in 2014, and before that, like in 2011, when they were trying to, you know, say that kids were going from school to jail and they wanted to stop that. I want to know more about Teacher Lipsky's account of seeing shooter in full black tactical gear in the hall. If that's true, Jerry, yep. Well, most do have an alternative area. How taught in many. Huh. I have taught in many. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Yeah, I think if that's true about the gear, we should find out more about it. Not here. They are arresting them. One is under mental evaluation right now, and that's exactly what should be done. Because how many more kids are we going to risk? Yes, I'd like to know more about the gear, and that's not being talked about in mainstream media at all about the person in gear. But I'll tell you what's happening now. I believe, why was the video 20 minutes behind? I know, Pat, that is a question that I've been asking ever since I heard that. There was a 20-minute delay on that the cameras at school. Why is that? Teacher Stacy Lipsky, she gave a video report in telehub.com, site for video. Lipinski in Telehub. Okay. I'll check that out. That is troubling. She got grazed by a bullet. Okay. Local officers here visit the school, walk around, and talk to the kids frequently. So now, let's see. As a result of the fact of this kid, well, this guy, this 19-year-old, wearing a backpack and coming into the school, they're banning backpacks in a number of schools now. I think Ohio has taken the lead on that and has already started banning backpacks. They're saying lunch boxes and small purses only will be allowed on school. Now, I don't know what you're going to do, because when I was going to school and with a backpack, the number of books that you have to carry, you need something to put them in. Wait, they've released the surveillance. Why haven't they released it? It scares me to think the libs will define what a mental health issue is. Lisa, that's always troubling. Absolutely. That kid who saw him ran for the coach who died. Wow, Barbara said, yes, and very heavy. I know, Lori. What are they going to do? I find the gear strange, too. You would think they would address it if it was a shooter to stop speculation. Yes. Somebody's saying weird stuff. Anyway, hey, Lisa, speculation. We never had backpacks in school. We had lockers and backpacks in my school, Cully. And you did go, yeah, no books, probably. iPads, no books. Heard it from the kid's mouth, Barbara said. Did anyone at the school take any video? Gary, I saw some kids taking video inside the classroom. That was when the shooting was going on outside. I don't know if anybody else took any video or not. I did see that one. But if they do have books and they do have lockers, are you going to get rid of all of that? Get rid of lockers, get rid of backpacks, books online with subscription. I had backpacks, but they didn't hold my books because they were all too small, Chicken said. In 90s, we had clear backpacks only at high school. Huh. Wow. Well, that's something they could look into. Hey, Robert, good to see you. It just seems like, once again, though, and I agree, if the backpacks, if there's a problem, they've got to be looked at. But once again, we're just kind of putting a Band-Aid on the issue. We're not really solving the problem. And again, when I was talking about yesterday, whenever you see the left, pointing their fingers at the NRA, at this person, at that person, at semi-automatics, automatics, whatever, when they're pointing their fingers, they're hiding something. And they're hiding, they don't want to take blame for anything. When I went to school, we had rifles in our trucks and no school shootings. I know, Clay, because you were taught respect of others and respect of life, and that's not being taught today. Football stadiums here only allow clear small bags. Barbara said, when I comment, I lose audio. That's why I'm in and out. Wow. Cully, that's strange. But as I was saying, when they point the fingers, that means they're hiding something. And what they're hiding is the fact that everybody failed in doing what they were supposed to do, it seems. My daughter's school could only wear 5 colors, so outsiders were noticed easily. Wow, Teresa. I mean, see, we got a huge problem. That is crazy, Teresa. I mean, seriously. Put guards in front of the school with armed guards and sit there and don't let people in, period. I mean, having the people inside wear different color clothing so that they can tell who was coming in. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I mean, my gosh, I think I've heard it all now. All these shooters all seem to have no fathers in their lives, Gary said. Well, in this particular one, this alleged shooter, dad died, mother died, and he was adopted by a woman. Well, his adoptive mother died, and I think that's who he's adopted by. It is Crazy Chickens. I mean, Crazy Chickens. How there you go. Mentally ill. I mean, that is insane to make kids wear certain colors. Now, I know in gang-ridden areas in San Diego, I can speak for that area, they don't allow you to wear, like bringing red handkerchiefs or whatever, things like that, because the Crips and the Bloods, are always fighting in San Diego, and then you've got other gangs elsewhere. So I could understand that. She was sent home one day because the burgundy was off shade. Scarlet Letter. Yeah, why don't they make all the kids wear uniforms? And there you go, there, Barbara. Most schools have uniforms, not my grandson's artsy school. We do that already. It's called prison. Thank you, Wayne. That's right. It was good to hear President Trump speaking about rap video games. Count to 10, Susan. I know, Pat. I need like something in tape around my head so it won't explode from hearing that stuff. I mean, that's just insane. God. Again, we're not getting at the root of the problem. We're putting a Band-Aid on the issue. Teresa, I'm going to think about that all day long. And all day long, I'm going to laugh and be frustrated thinking about that. That is just so ridiculous. And the fact that she got sent home because the burgundy shade wasn't exactly right. Unbelievable. Serenity now. Oh my gosh. I'm waiting for God's return. I mean, rap is not music. There you go, Gary. Oh, wow. We buzz in and have to check in at a desk, the front door, but start and end of day is less secure. Exactly, Lisa. Made her a target, and we're all say nuts. Bring God back in. Parents start parenting. Consequences for actors. Yes. Chickens. Amen. Rap is not music. Barbara said that too, Gary. They need to do something about bullying in schools too. Nikolai, there's been bullying in schools since the beginning of time. And there's never going to be a time when there's not bullying. They've done anti-bullying programs. They have, done everything that they possibly can. What more can they do? A long time ago. Now, I know bullying is different. Bullying is bad. Bullying should stop. Period. However, a long time ago, we told kids, if you're being bullied, just kind of shrink in the corner, that type thing. We should teach the kids, if you're being bullied, you need to go and tell someone that you're being bullied. You need to tell your parents. You need to tell your teachers. But that, they're going to have to do more at the schools. It's not up to the kid. Yeah, I was told stand up for myself too, chickens. Absolutely. But we don't teach kids that. We teach kids kind of like to run and hide and not. I know that we're teaching them to tell people, but it's not working. It's not working. Robin said, my kids have strict dressing guidelines, PJs, robes, sweatpants, shorts, or whatever. Homeschool. They need to do something about bullying. Yes. Guns have been around for a long time, but when I was younger, we had discipline and God in schools. Yes, Nikolai. Marlene said, punch their lights out. Well, that will get you expelled and arrested today. Nope, I told my son, hit him on the chops, and we will back you. Yeah, I got beat up a lot, was small, Lisa said. I was bullied for a couple of years, threatening to be beaten up after school by certain groups. I was bullied in school. I don't know anybody who wasn't bullied in school. There were girls in my school who had their hair set on fire by bullies. So, there's going to be bullying. They need to be able to stick up for yourself, self-empowerment, Dee said. Yeah, Dee, stick up for yourself. Also stick up, tell your parents and tell the school. My son has my permission, Cody said. They wanted to, my dad was there to referee the fight. Oh, gosh, Marlene. Yeah, we had all of that stuff, and when we were going to school, we didn't have our teachers there to support us. Literally, we had hair set on fire. Girls had pins, that long hat pin needles stuck in their backs. Kids were beaten up. My boyfriend at the time in the, was it 8th grade, was put up against a locker. 2 people held him, and he was hit in the eye, almost lost his eye. It will be around forever. We have to teach kids how to defend themselves. A mouth is a powerful thing, Carmen said. I know it's different today, but, we've got to do something. Just having little programs about, oh, stop bullying. It's not working. It's not working. Hey, Randy. So if it's not working, we got to try something new. And some of the kids that are sitting there saying they don't bully kids, well, maybe they're bullying kids. When I joined the Navy, I became the bully, Lisa said. Thank you for your service, Lisa. So, again, if we have school programs that aren't working, we just can't keep doing the same thing. Change of heart's what's needed. That's true, Mike. Absolutely true. Teaching biblical principles would help that. Sad, but my mom was more angry with me for being afraid. Well, Teresa, maybe she had a point. I'm just saying, they'll expel for fighting back. That's right. If a child hits you and you hit back as the child, you're going to get suspended as well. You're going to be both suspended. I've seen it happen. I know it's a fact. If you would, it's past the halfway mark. If you would please retweet this, share this, I would appreciate it. Bring the Bible back to schools. Yes, Mike. I say put prayer back in schools. I don't think it's ever going to happen because that we have too many people who are, saying we don't want Christianity in our school. It would be a total uphill battle. Hard for teachers and admin to control bullying via social media. That's true, Brandon. It's not always an option to hit back. That's dumb advice. Well, Julia, that's what I was saying. If you hit back, you are going to get suspended. You'll get suspended or expelled just like the kid who hit you. But you can defend yourself. It doesn't mean you have to hit back necessarily, but you can defend yourself. Yeah, especially now. I spent lots of time in detention. No big deal. Got to stand for something. But one day, it's hard to fix mental illness in a country that thinks it's okay for a man to become a woman. Got a point there, Clay. Unless it's self-defense. Yes, Brandon. You should always be able to defend yourself. Let's see. Some other information. Hope Hicks is going to be being interviewed today before the House Intel. So if you got in detention or expelled, no big deal, Barbara said. Wow. Yeah, we were just, at the time when I was going to school, we were sent to school and told to kind of like take up for yourself. Parents told me don't start it, but finish it. That's right, Dave. I don't think that would work today, really, honestly, with all that's going on in schools. I don't advocate violence of any kind. I do believe that you need, okay, Carmen, that you need to protect yourself, defend yourself. Growing up in Minnesota, snowballs were a great counter to bullies, Lisa said. Yeah, there were times when I was bullied and other people were bullied that I had to get my cousin, who was this big guy, and I mean big guy, to meet me at my locker every day so that I wouldn't get beaten up. No one does, but you have to be able to defend yourself. Yep. So when they knew that the gang of girls were going to beat me up, he would come to my locker. It began in the 70s. Yep. They do not want you to expel because they lose money. That's right. NC superintendent came out and said teachers will not have guns because they will have enough on their plates. There's never going to be guns in California schools. I can tell you that right now. I had my older sister protecting me when I was bullied, Robin said. Yeah, everybody's been through bullying. We've got to come up with something. Here's part of what we need to do. We need to get parents to get their children off of social media, period. Then we sat in church 3 days a week and are told to be nice, turn the other cheek as a kid. Well, that's right, Teresa. But I also know that Jesus didn't tell you not to defend yourself, though. That was Old Testament, right? Jesus didn't say, be a doormat to anybody. It happens. You need to learn how to deal with it. Yep. Heck, there's bullying in the workplace, too. Absolutely, Brandon. I, like Gutfeld's suggestion, sell California back to Mexico. Ugh. Only after I leave, please. Had an upperclassman who was like a brother who helped me. Turn all schools into private schools and end this insanity. Glay, that's a good idea. People naturally pick out the people who are different. That's hard to change. That's right, Julia. Yeah, but parents have to understand that their kids aren't always perfect. Yes, Pat. No social media for kids sounds great. See, that's the thing. How many parents out there would tell their kids you cannot be on social media as of today? Right? Parents need to really start early telling kids what to do. Yes, Teresa, because they've been told not to tell their kids what to do. That even at young kids, it's their body, their minds, their decision, their this. BS. That horse is out of the barn. Yep. Send the kids back outside to play. Absolutely, chickens. None. It's a babysitting. Yes. But if all parents would get together and say, let's stop social media, it would happen. Or I remember when parents used to say, I don't care what the people down the street are doing with their kids, but in this house, this is what we do. Only bullying I saw in high school was seniors picking on freshmen. And it wasn't too bad of bullying, right, Brandon? It was kind of more kidding around. One rotten apple spoils the whole bunch. Yep. Absolutely does. But you know what would help a lot in bullying, I think? That in schools, if you had a people who were, you know, from the sheriff's department, police department, veterans, retired police, whatever the case may be, armed, walking around the school campus, because, you know, as you and I know, a lot of bullying happens in between classes. It doesn't happen in the classroom. It happens in between when the bell rings and you're headed off to that new class. My parents let us watch Bugs Bunny on Saturday, then boom, time to go outside. Yes, Pat, we spent most of our lives outside. And guess what? It was the best thing they ever did. We had a wooded area, which you can't do today, but we had an entire wooded area that we would go up into, spend the entire day there, and when it got dark, they knew we were coming home. I know. I feel so sad for kids who will never know the type of freedom that you and I knew. Had a fort. Yes, Dee, we had a fort. We did everything in the woods. My gosh. You know, we swung on poison ivy, unfortunately. My mom would say, if your friends jump off a bridge, are you going to do it too? That's right, Teresa. Give the children responsibility. Yes. Those were amazing times, Daniel said. Yes. Chores, Chicken said. If you mention chores to kids, they'd be like, what? And when you talk about chores to parents, and grades, they want to know how much they need to pay their children for that. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't need to pay your children for being a part of the family and doing what they need to do in the family to help the family work. Can anyone remember kick the can? Yes, Mike. And what was that where they throw the ball at you? Gosh, what was that? Dodgeball. I love dodgeball. What's a chore? I know, Daniel. They have no idea what a chore is. But we don't pay children to do chores. They raised that animal, not me, Chicken said. But now it's like, well, I have to give you an A. When you get an A, I'll give you $5. A B, I'll give you $3. Please make good grades. And please clean up your room. No, don't pay money to children for doing what it is that they should do. You're teaching them all the wrong things. Dad worked us hard on Saturday. We didn't look forward to weekends, Lisa said. Here, Lisa, here's what I know, that if we went someplace on the weekends, that meant we had to have our chores done before we went anywhere. And, you know, there was no crying or temper tantruming around the house when your parents didn't let you go. You knew that this was your responsibility. Suck it up, Buttercup, and go do it. My grandmother paid me to eat. I know, terrible. Oh, Teresa. Brother would wash dishes badly on purpose so my mom made me do it. Yeah, we didn't have dishwashers, right, then. We got paid an allowance. See, Nina, we got paid a small allowance. I'm even against allowance. We got like 50 cents or something like that once a week from my grandfather or whatever. I don't even believe in that. Clean your room or you're not going anywhere. Yes, Jerry. Yep, absolutely. I would love losing teeth. And that's the only time you got money. Raised my kids like I was. They turned out great. There you go, Dee. Oh, yes, worked well. Sometimes we were too tired to go out. Yep, probably best. Lisa stayed out of trouble. Hey, big boy. 50 cents. Yep, that's it, Mike. 50 cents. And we thought that 50 cents was a heck of a lot of money. My older sister paid me to do her chores. That's good, Lisa. Wasn't the problem exacerbated in the 70s when it was made illegal for compulsory treatment? I still dishwash by hand, Cully said. You're old school, Cully, you know. Mom would have to beg us to come inside. I know, Brandon. It would be dark, and we're like, yeah, but it's only 15 minutes to 9. Give us a couple more minutes. We each had a night of the week where we were responsible for making dinner. The others cleaned up. Wow, chickens, that's great. It was a lot of money for penny candy. Exactly. I still wash dishes by hand. You could always go to the store at that 50 cents and buy something, even out of a gumball machine. And again, you were like grateful for that. That was a lot of money, and getting a little whatever in a little gumball machine, a little, I don't know, I don't even remember what it was. Dishwashers waste a lot of water. They can, Daniel, that's true. You know, like a figure of something, figurine or whatever. You know, it was like, whoa, wow, this is so cool. Burning a hole in my pocket. You know, you look back on that, and at 50 cents and having that, you so appreciated it. Yes, my sister and I took turns cooking or cleaning. That I never had to do. I never had to cook. My mother did all the cooking, or my father. The kids never cooked. But I think it's good, and I think kids also should learn how to wash their own clothes at a certain age. If you're a teenager, I think you should be washing your own clothes. Just my opinion. Hey, Tillett, when the grandkids come and stay, they'll have chores to do after dinner, helping to clean up. Very good, Chicago Pops. Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't teach kids that anymore, a lot of kids, and then we expect them somehow to know how to do it. My dad paid me for doing chores but not busting my behind. Calais said, we did all the housework, Barbara said. It's called reasonability. Yeah, I mean, it's like you have to teach kids and model the behavior, or they're not going to know how to do it, and they're not going to do it. We paid for all our own clothes and many other things with our allowance. That's great, Nina. Parents taught us how to separate clothes before washing them, Brandon said. Outside regular chores, Mom would pay me rather than dry cleaners to iron Dad's shirts. Cheaper, too. Good, Lisa. We didn't need friends. We had 12 in my family, Daniel said. We were slaves, Marlene said. We all had chores when I was growing up, Tillett said. Yeah, I mean, everybody that I knew had chores. The reason was it was made you how to be responsible for yourself. Yes, how to care for yourself, how to do something on your own, how to do more than look at somebody else to do it for you. That's called dependency on the government, right? That's training you for that. My daughter is 2, only takes Paw Patrol, haven't brought up the chore thing yet. Well, she's a little young at 2, but yard work was mandatory. Yes, we all worked. We all did something. My gosh. I can't imagine sitting around and not having anything to do. Kids don't mow yards anymore. They don't do anything. I know some kids, you know, I've seen some parents make them, but that's very few and far between. It didn't hurt you. No, Pat, it didn't. It made you a stronger, better person. Child labor comes cheap payment in candy. Exactly. And no kids were complaining about that. No such thing as entitlement. I know, chickens, we need to bring that back, right? That idea has gone out the window. Okay, so let me talk a little bit more about news. I hated being inside as a kid. Being inside was a punishment back then. Yes, it was, Brandon. In fact, that's what my parents would use if we were punished. They wouldn't let us go outside, and that was like a fate worse than death. You know, this kind of job relates to millennials. Job hopping, want less, more money. Yeah, work more money. Yeah. I was held accountable for behavior and had to apologize even to adults. Yes, Penny Arcade. We used to go weed, mow lawns, anything to make a little money. Very good. Gotta go. Gotta love this room. Pat said. Thought you were having to go. Okay. Thanks, Robin. Let us know about your dad when you have new information. Laura Ingram also reported last night there's an internal email directing deputies to defend Sheriff Israel. One source gave it and another one confirmed it. So we're having... Yeah, we need to have a picnic. We do. But their sources are confirming that you know, now the deputies are being told go out there and talk really good about Sheriff Israel, and that's because people want the sheriff to resign. New Air Force One deal. President Trump made a deal with Boeing. The deal's worth $3.9 billion for 2 aircraft for Air Force One. And it's saving taxpayers $1.4 billion. $1.4 billion with the B dollars. Now, for all those people who complain that President Trump goes out and plays golf and this and that, he's saving 1.4 just right there. Last year cannot type today. I know, chickens. He's always looking out for the American public. Cashing checks, breaking necks, MAGA. There you go, Brandon. Bernie Sanders' son launches a House bid in New Hampshire, so he wants to be into politics now. And Bernie Sanders' stepdaughter in Vermont wants to run for mayor. If you have to encourage support from your staff, you're something. Lisa, I didn't see the last of it. Let's see. Erdogan in Turkey, the leader of Turkey. Hey, Joseph. He basically took a 6-year-old girl out of the crowd in Turkey, brought her up on stage last week while she was crying, and told her during the military rally that she'd be honored if she were killed as a martyr. There you go. Great stuff to tell a 6-year-old in Turkey that basically we want you to be a martyr and die. They don't get that. So many business deals are going while fishing. What? Yeah, that was Erdogan. That's the leader of Turkey, who brought a 6-year-old up on stage and said, if you were a martyr for Turkey and you were killed, you would be honored. And the little flag that she had, they said we would wrap you in this flag, teaching children early over there in Turkey that the way to go is to be martyrs. Let's see. That was terrible. I know, Teresa. And this man kissed the poor girl on her face. I know. He's a very dangerous man. Disgusting. Yep, Lisa, poor baby. He is a very dangerous man, Lee. Absolutely. She was crying, yes. Well, I mean, even kids know at that age that something about that isn't right. Over in Syria, this is something else that we're not. Bernie is proof we need term limits. He has some loose connections. Yep, Pat. Here's some things that we're not hearing about that's happening over in Syria. With the Syria conflict, women in Syria are being sexually exploited by men delivering aid on behalf of the UN. I bet that's a surprise to you. And international charities, according to the BBC. Erdogan is creepy. FedEx standing with NRA. Yay. They're wanting them to trade food and a lift somewhere for sexual favors, and they're all saying now, oh, the UN is saying, gosh, we weren't aware of anything that was going on like that, but they said it's been going on for 3 years. Yes, they are using chemical weapons, Pat, according to the people that are going in to take care of those people. Yes, Brandon, that is Isaiah 17. They're saying that they're finding that some of those people have chemical weapons in their systems. Yeah, sure they weren't aware. I know, Alan. They said it's so widespread that some women won't even go to the distribution centers because they fear if they go there, that's going to be interpreted as that they are wanting to give sexual favors. Oh, please, longer than 3. I know, Marlene, the whole time. The UN, in my opinion, is just so primitive in everything that they do that, to have them, when Obama wanted them to come into the United States and look at what we were doing and make sure our voting was good and blah, 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 it's just so ridiculous. The UN is a joke. They haven't done anything that I've ever been aware of that they did well, that they did right, that it needs to be shut down. We need to stop paying any money to them at all. I mean, they're so behind in everything. Happy, happy, joy, joy. What happened, Carmen? UN equal appeasement first. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. Yeah. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And to find out, after all these years, I mean, you could suspect it, but you don't know, that the women are being sexually abused. Oh, Mom visited you. Yes. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Now here's some news. The taxpayers have paid $18.5 billion with a B for illegal alien health care. In 2016, Americans paid $11.2 billion. Can you imagine what would be done or what could be done with that money if it wasn't going for illegal alien health care? Susan, I think you should sing Happy Birthday to Carmen. Yeah, I did that for Christmas. It didn't work so well. You know, you get nervous in front of the mic. Brandon, everybody could use that money. I mean, seriously, 3 walls. Poor children in America. Yes, Penny Arcade, Mike said that. He said 3 walls, and you're saying, yes, a wall. And so, seriously, no, that's okay. I know you wish me well. I do. But that is a lot of money. And then they complain about President Trump again. I mean, seriously, it's just ridiculous. Veterans Affairs could use it. Yes, Brandon. Yeah, they could build more hospitals. They could hire more qualified people. 11.2 billion could go to help our vets, Nikolai said. Yep, that's what everybody is saying, Nikolai. That is yearly. Yes, Mike. I mean, it's insane. Insane. Schools could use it for defense. Huh, there you go, Brandon. Debt, Marlene said. Yes, absolutely. I just sang Happy Birthday to Carmen. My dogs are not fans. Our hospital would offset illegal unpaid bills by hiking citizens' bills, Daniel said. Yep. Vets, yes, take care of the vets, Mike said. Yeah, absolutely. Also, here's those of us that are disabled can't make enough to pay for meds, Nina said. Yeah. I like Georgia's lieutenant governor. He warned Delta Monday that he will block any tax legislation that would benefit the airline unless it reverses its decision to sever ties with the NRA. Thank you, Georgia lieutenant governor. That was Cagle, C-A-G-L-E. So I think that's great. Go Georgia! Woohoo! Use it to build a spaceship to relocate libs on the moon. There you go, Lisa. Every vet should have a home. Penny Arcade said. You know, Penny Arcade, they could make tiny homes for them. You know, those homes are about, what, 200 square feet and bigger, maybe 400, maybe 600 square feet. I think vets would be appreciative of that, especially the homeless veterans would love a house that size. And they could put up some permanent housing for that. There are lots in a lot of these in states like Arizona. They're not using them. They're just empty lots. They're not going to build anything on them. They're just empty lots. Why not put up some tiny homes there and get veterans there? Yes, that would be great. I know. It would be very good. Let's see. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the fact it's better than living out in the streets. Yes, or under tents, Pat, when it rains and the horrible, winds and everything else. Those tents get blown down. Talking about the veterans in Arizona that we support. Tents get blown down, flooding out, and then they have to put it all back. And it's gross and, wet and muddy and everything else around there, and that's what they have to live in. That we allow our vets to bed homeless is an absolute disgrace. Yeah. Start converting shipping containers. Absolutely, Marlene. And get volunteers to help, like Habitat for Humanity. Lisa, the problem is when you get people like Habitat for Humanity to come in, then there are a lot of rules you have to follow. A lot of, regulations, a lot of this and a lot of that. And sometimes it's not easy to do that. There's a lot of delay, like, just red tape. So, let's see. The NBC and MSNBC reporter Peter Alexander was chastised basically by Ivanka Trump for asking what she considered it to be an inappropriate question. What happened to all the FEMA trailers? Who knows? That's a problem with tiny houses too. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that there are people that would build those tiny houses that wouldn't have red tape, that would just go out and build them. And then they could, have the Arizona or whomever come by and look at it. Yes, I know, so proud of her. She basically, Peter Alexander asked her about her father's sexual misconduct in his accusers during an interview in South Korea. And she basically told him that was an inappropriate question to be asking a daughter, which it is. And as Ben Shapiro pointed out, they never asked Chelsea about Bill's misconduct. And, misconduct that was proven against him in many instances. So, yes, go Ivanka. Today, if you want to see the show, God's Views on Political News. That will be coming on at 1 Eastern today. And that's going to be on Facebook at God's Views on Political News page. If you can't be there, then you can always watch the replay on my SusanKnowles.com page. That'll be there about an hour or so later. And you can see that what we had. We're probably going to be talking about the Florida shooting again. Got to set an alarm. I know, Marlene. I know. We miss you there. Have a great day, Brandon. Thank you guys, all of you, for being here. Please retweet this if you will. Share this. This is the only way people are going to know we're here. Again, we're kind of shadow banned. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you, Susan. You're welcome, Lee. Thanks, Susan. You're welcome, Lori. All right, everybody. We will see you mañana. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm coming on tomorrow just because Wednesday is kind of one of those off days. I guess I'll make that decision in the morning. We'll see. But we'll be back soon. If not Wednesday, then Thursday. Okay. So I see everybody. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow or the next day. Take care, everybody. Thank you, YouTube. God bless.